Ignite Gaming is ready to duke it out at the early game. Because right now, in order to meet Team Evo in the early game, you need to have enough firepower. If not, you know, you allow Team Evo to get away with the early game scaling, it's over.
I would say that in this case, having an archive would be nice. Having an archive would be nice. Not particularly great in EXP, not particularly great played by Diablo. I don't remember seeing him play an archive, but I'm not gonna take him down for that. In the end and in the grand scheme of things, it is still a team game, and I want to see how Ignite want to play this out.
Lots of damage already inflicted onto Diablo up top, right there. Just a 1v1 right there between Gear and Diablo. Man, Gear at the very least is back on Freya duty.
Yep. Unfortunately, an Akai definitely would not have a very good answer to a Freya at this point in time, but it's not going to be end of the world as of yet. We do have Gear that is going to be popping for himself right in the face of KELVIN at this point, trying to go for a little bit of a sneaky steal of the jungle creeps. I don't think that he managed to steal at this point because AEZU is still level 2, Diablo is still AEZU is level 2, KELVIN is level 3. They are relatively close, so it's fair to say that, you know, none of us know.
Yep. First blood given over the side of Blade. That's a juicing that's looking to scale as well. Khalid, I would say, credited most of the damage as well. Oh, powerful. Chase down.
Managed to force out the flicker. That is a very big flicker, especially since the flicker at 1 minute and 30 seconds would essentially mean that the turtle and the upcoming fight afterwards, we will not be able to see any form of Raging Sandstorm. But you know what? It is a roam Khalid after all. Even during the turtle fight itself, there won't be a Raging Sandstorm.
Yeah, and at the very least, right, Gear does have a lot more damage, especially when you're a Freya. Does have level 4, you can just sustain and heal at the same time. Ignite Gaming, on the other hand, I would say they've got a lot more burst damage. And burst damage works against the likes of Freya. Once you burst a Freya down, the Freya wasn't able to continuously get the damage, and you were just forced to heal.
I thought we might be able to see something interesting there, where I thought that it is the very old meta where the mage goes over to the XP lane to get level, and the mid lane gets levels as well. But right now, KELVIN manages to take the turtle for himself. Powerful may have suffered a death over there, but at least it is going to be a trade between the two roamers.
Yeah, Diablo using the heavy spin to kind of push AEZU away from the Reggie, allowing Ignite Gaming to pick up that turtle. I think that's interesting, right? Diablo is a very selfish player, and now it seems like, hey, you know, I'm gonna give the glory back to KELVIN.
Yeah, so he understands that it is a team game after all, right? Most of the time, he shines bright like a diamond, but whenever he needs to, he will always try to do his very best to be that polisher to ensure that the other team is, you know, probably better than Diamond.
He's using a diamond sandpaper in order to polish KELVIN right there. You know, the problem about KELVIN, especially as a Nolan, is that you're so weak, you really cannot like face tank the turtle as much as possible. So using Diablo right there as a heavy spin is actually an interesting way of doing it.
Yep. I mean, understandably, he is playing as a containment unit. So the main thing is he plays for the team, and he needs to ensure that he creates the opportunity for his fellow teammates, and they will look for a way to go in. But speaking of going in, that is the two members on the side of Equal. They jump straight in over KELVIN with no way to run away.
The Summon Force were actually misplaced right there, right? Had VENNN placed Summon Force in a wonderful position, it will be a lot more damage dealt over the side of Ignite Gaming. Losing KELVIN right there is not exactly a very good idea for the side of Ignite Gaming because, you know, it allows AEZU to really farm.
I really want to eat that, man.
Yeah, I'm smelling it.
Yeah, I smell it again. Why suddenly now it's so strong?
I don't know, it's just, maybe we're just hungry, right?
I think so. It's currently, right, it's 7:30. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We are allowed to be hungry, okay?
Yeah. Viewers at home can definitely enjoy themselves. And like what I mentioned, before we get into the grand finals, right? It's like, I think this is going to be a long one, right? Grab some Indomie, grab some Kelbies, we're going to be a while.
Yeah, make sure you guys don't talk, okay? Because you guys have been staring onto Smooth for a long time, right?
Smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
Squinting. No wonder I'm squinting.
Yeah, the sponsor loves me.
I like the fact that we're like just literally throwing sponsor shoutouts because I would say nothing is going on most of the time for the side of Global Duo teams unless something happens.
And that is going to be the containment coming from Diablo. They will be able to lock 2-person right immediately. And just like that, we're just going to be expecting to see a very good play coming in from the rest of the members from the side of Ignite. But just like that, Diablo, he already finds himself running away. He doesn't have a lot of HP to work around with. time. The rest of the members Ignite. They want to run. They want to do something. For the side of Evil, they catches on over to Roy, but it's not enough to take him down.
Yeah, a lot of damage being poured by the side of Team Evil against Ignite, right? That was also a very good start, but that's when the heavy spin comes a little bit awkward, right? Now you're able to pin 2 members on the wall. If you are Jay, then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, do I commit to the way of the dragon to kick somebody back, there, albeit, you know, unlocking somebody away, or do I continue on to push up? Because right now, that was a bit awkward coming in from the side of Ignite Gaming.
As he slowly decides to move right on with 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Evil, they have 700 gold lead and slowly losing out. But let's take this moment in time. You gotta take a look at the in-game equipment. Do know that Blade, they do have, he have the Sky Pierce.
Brother's confident, right?
Yeah.
Making sure to be able to be that cleanup crew and also provide a lot more damage that's required, because there's a lot of burst damage from the side. Powerful, especially right now. VENN also contributes to that one. So Blade, it's a cleanup crew followed by Gear. Gear on the killing spree, right? As long as he taps onto somebody that has low HP, he gains movement speed and also healing, and that thing resets every kill. So as long as Gear continues on with onslaught, it will be amazing.
It's gonna be a kick down over to the side of Powerful. Raging Sand stomps himself right out of that. Diablo moves himself forward to the side of AEZU. Unfortunately, was not able to kick him right in the face. As such, Diablo gets lifted up in the air, gets himself right out of the with a quick slants using the heavy speed, locks right down the Gear, gets him down. And that is something that it would really need to lift the spirits up. Diablo gets himself riding away while VENN drops down the Summon Force, and he's unable to get any form of impact from that.
Gear actually underestimate onto the heavy spin earlier just now, right? Ignite Gaming just literally outplay Gear right there, right?
Yep.
Pinning Gear against the wall,
Costly
and all of a
mistake,
sudden, right, that was a costly mistake, especially now Ignite Gaming may potentially take a turtle for themselves.
Jay flickers himself away, no longer have any form of initiation coming in from that. Unfortunately, AEZU will be able to snap and steal the turtle away right under the noses of Ignite.
Yeah, the way to deal with the Freya is to constantly CC her, find a way. Heavy spin does just that, right? As long as Gear wasn't able to dash forward and then enhance the Freya's attack speed, all of a sudden the pseudo tankiness that we know and love from the side of Freya, the attack, damage, and also the cleave that we know from Freya is immediately denied. And all of a sudden, Gale just there sitting down, allowing CS to just burst. But don't forget, right now, Team Evil needs to explode and gain the snowball, because going into sub, I would say 10 minutes mark, CS will come online. Whoever J kick, it's a confirmed death.
Unfortunately, that was a free turret for the side of VENN as well, as they move forward to get a little bit more economical advantage on top of Ignite. As you can see right now, we do have Harif that's already got 5,200 gold with the Stallion Scythe and the Feather of Heaven. And his counterpart, unfortunately, is only a single Corrosion Scythe from the side of Carry. So Ignite Gaming, they are still behind, and the front lines from the side of Evil, they can still play a very fast game.
Yeah, and you see like KELVIN, right, trying to jump onto Blade, trying to assassinate. Don't forget, Blade on the juice in a pseudo tank mage as well. Also does a lot of damage just in case anything happens. He could always use a beacon, gains that additional shield to basically live through that burst. So KELVIN, I would say the only target from the side of Ignite Gaming onto Evil is probably Gear, or be it VENN.
As now the heavy spin coming from the side of Diablo pushes the rest of the members of the side of Evil into the Lost Pit. Jay tries to get himself away. He will be able to successfully do so. KELVIN tries to go for a little bit of backstab coming in from the back, but unfortunately he was not able to successfully do that. As such, Gear puts up tanks over the side of KELVIN. He creates a rift, but unfortunately these rifts are not getting him out of there.
Gear angry, man. He is not happy by that heavy spin against the wall. A bit of a push and pull between these two teams. And now without KELVIN right there, the Lord is so easy for Team Evil.
The Lord is already down to half HP. Ignite looks for an opportunity, but I don't think that they have a way to come in, because KELVIN unfortunately is dead. Level 12 at this point in time versus AEZU level 10. This is not a situation where Evil is supposed to be able to take the Lord at all, but because of a costly mistake from the side of KELVIN, where he went in at the wrong time, it allowed Gear to catch up onto KELVIN, and now Evil, not only do they have a gold advantage, AEZU is catching up in terms of level.
Yeah, and the best part is, right, there's also going to be a Lord marching down, I would say, around top side, right? It's definitely going to be able to proc, means that, you know, you're going to pick up all the standing goals in the mid and the bot lane, and then EVO will escalate. This is the mid-game pulse spike that we're looking at Team EVO. He's already there, whereas Ignite Gaming, they have to buy more time. CS, I believe, right now should have the Golden Staff and slowly working towards the Demon Hunter Sword. Still needs more time. I would say right now at this juncture, you need at the very least a benefit gun because you need to really outrange and also cannot be so upfront against VENN, against AEZU, or even to a certain extent Gear.
Unfortunately for Ignite, if they play this normally, they will not be able to get a single win in the team fight. They can definitely go for a couple of pickoffs. As such, the stakes are really, really difficult for the side of Ignite. Like I mentioned, they can't win in team fights. They can pop up, they can pick off, and from that point on, they try to play the neutral ground once again. The moment that they try to go for any fighting fight at this current conjuncture, they will find themselves in a very difficult spot and might find themselves with a game-ending move.
Both of these two teams committed so many ultimates around the mid lane fight earlier just now, and because of that, Team Ignite was able to burn off Team EVO's ultimates, so no damage done onto the base turret. So I would say currently that is a good defense coming out from Ignite Gaming, but right now, if you take a look at the item from CS, slowly inching to the DHS. But if you look at his counterpart, VENN, on the way, I should say that should be Blood Wings, or if she's... No, wait, hold on. He's feeling greedy. That's 3. He's got to go for that Holy Crystal, man. There you go. He's greedy.
There we go. He's greedy.
I love it when gold laners are greedy.
I mean, they're kind of expected to be a little bit greedy here. But CS looks like he will be able to help the team secure a single turret down on the top lane. Almost in a very bad spot though. But JAYY is just going to be putting himself right in between of himself, right between of CS and the enemies. As such, he has to unfortunately sacrifice himself in order to ensure a safe escape for CS.
But KELVIN is actually doing a lot of damage around the mid lane turret as well, trying to buy some time using JAYY. But I would say JAYY, this is a troll, right? It is. Oh, hold on. AEZU is hunting for him. Will not be able to find him.
It's fine. The only problem is that KELVIN does not have purple buffs. So the moment that Evil is able to kind of engage and kind of raid into Ignite Gaming purple buff, that is going to be detrimental to the growth of KELVIN.
KELVIN sneak level 99 right there. Will be able to escape all the way back. If AEZU caught onto him, that's it.
Wait. The purple buff still went over to Ignite? Wait, hold on a second. Who took the purple buff?
Powerful.
I don't see that. Is that really?
Check powerful.
I don't think so.
No, it's not. Okay, that's his.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he still managed to take it. KELVIN should take it. That's great.
But DIABLO taking a lot of damage from Blade and also VENN. KELVIN will be able to find Gear earlier just now, and now it's just Team EVO working on the Lord. Another free Lord given up the side of Team EVO.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like Ignite Gaming, they understood that they are behind in terms of behind in terms of the economy. Even though KELVIN is way ahead in terms of level, coming in between himself and AEZU, he can actually try to go for a steal, which actually I'm kind of surprised that he's not trying to go for. Because right now, Evil, the only way that they are able to realistically be able to catch on to KELVIN is number 1, AEZU that goes in spinning right into KELVIN's face. Or number 2, Powerful comes in with a Raging Sandstorm. Nothing else is able to give instant gratification that will stop KELVIN from trying to take a steal off the Lord. And now, down to the bottom lane, Gear, not looking good. The pushback position from Ignite managed to storm off with this split push coming in from Gear.
There's one pick off as well as Team EVO leads a charge up top at the same time. But 2 ultimates already committed. JAYY looking for an angle. This is a show that doesn't have the way of the Tiger right now. So Team EVO will be looking to toy JAYY Cho right here.
And just like that, he's just going to be lifted airborne and ragdoll all the way through. Unfortunately, DIABLO hoped and was trying to go in to save him. But even with the heavy spin, it was not enough.
Yeah, actually the heavy spin also works wonders against the Harif, right? You push the Harif away from the Zaman Force, but Blade 3-0-3 procs the Sky Piercer easily, picks up JAYY earlier just now, and now Ignite Gaming has to defend against an open face. KELVIN right here is just trying to buy as much time as possible for CS to really grow, but that's purple buff, but AEZU can run faster.
I'm not too sure about this. KELVIN no longer has a lot of ways to actually get more dashes in. As such, it's a 4v1. KELVIN made a mistake. Big in enough, that might actually make things worse for the members of Ignite Gaming.
I like the fact that OV has 4 angles. Wait, sorry, 3 angles of KELVIN dying right there. Because KELVIN, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to buy time for CS to basically grow, right? But I think it's a little bit too much, right? Now you're giving, you're dying as a level 15.
Yeah.
Giving over Team Evil. Team Evil can catch up with EXP.
That's too all in. That's too rushed coming in from Ignite. As such, the Summon Force now is just going to be popped. Diablo was hoping that he will be able to use the heavy spin in order to kind of push VENN away. They did manage to kind of secure and make sure that their turret don't go down too much, but it's going to be down to a sliver. They're going to be fine for now. No Lord for the side of Evil. This very desperate push from Evil is actually not too bad because they weren't going all in with this with Desperado.
Yep, VENN using the Summon Force to a good angle so that, you know, he doesn't go a bit too deep, right? As long as zip zap around the front of the turret, he's hoping to take it down. Diablo going to heavy spin is also a threat for the side of VENN, and not just that, that also allows him to wave clear to a certain extent, using heavy spin to clear the wave.
We're currently down to 15 minutes into this game. At this point in time, I think it's relatively fair to say that CS is probably just 1 item away from maxing it out. And he's probably in a pretty good spot by now. Should have the Malefic gun as well. So if anything, fighting for this Lord is very much possible. KELVIN level 15, AEZU level 14. This is the only point in time where Ignite might be able to go for a pretty good fight against Evil and try to take the Lord away. We'll see about that. And right now we do have Gear that doesn't have a lot of HP, but Diablo just going to be pushing himself right to the choke point. He bought a lot of time, but unfortunately he will still go down. The members from Ignite Gaming, they weren't able to capitalize the moment that Diablo opened up for them. KELVIN slipped away from the sides, create some cracks into the rift. He tried to get himself running away, but the one that fell into the rift gotta have to be Jay. As he loses immortality, the members of Evil stand supreme as they manage to take 2% down. KELVIN being a hot pursuit once again, and Powerful pushes him away. Evil will now have an uncontested Lord.
It just goes into show, right? Ignite Gaming is trying the hardest to go all the way to the back line, trying to separate it into half, but you're holding on to CS, you're holding on to Roy, trying to look for an angle, and they're kind of short range, is not able to catch up. And you see Blade, he's already 5-0-4. This mid laner is looking for blood. Even if, you know, Roy and also CS tried to step into his Crimson Beacon, there's a risk for them to get picked up, get thrown aside, and not just that. Blade has a Sky Piercer as well. You don't want to mess with him.
We no longer have a one-sided retribution battle anymore. Supposedly, the past few lords that we have seen is supposedly one-sided in favor of KELVIN. Because as the assassin jungler, he can pick up level 15 a lot faster. And at one point in time, AEZU was only left over hand, and KELVIN at level 15. Now, that is all over. Diablo has already used his heavy spin. As such, no more heavy spin that will be able to throw VENN away from his Summon Force. So in some cases, this is guaranteed for the side of Evil. He took down his Summon Force. He's going to be focusing down on the core as much as possible. Ignite Gaming is unable to do anything because Evil, they